Gimbal zone.
Wondering what if NASA employees had been given more time to think, to plan, to imagine? What if a moratorium made for safer data centers? A one-year moratorium would give the city staff and those writing and developing the UDOs a chance to find answers to a myriad of questions using their skills, their knowledge, their networks, and to imagine potential hazards. Data centers are a danger to our health and well-being for all of us. That's including Mother Nature. Mother Nature is another way we reference God. What is so bad about passing a moratorium? Yes, we will still end up at a UDO stage, but imagine how more complete and comprehensive the UDOs will be with the time a moratorium allows. It will give staff time to use their imagination to consider the countless risks involved in data centers, and who knows, maybe even save lives.
They lead to violence, more violence, like handgun violence down all around the city, death, domination, supremacy, and destruction. So I believe it is time for a new vision for Fayetteville. And guess what? I believe God has given me some vision. I'm excited about it too. But I believe it is time for a new vision, a vision which holds up the high ideals of reconciliation. That's what we need to be teaching our children at that educational school, at that middle school or elementary school. That's what we need to be talking to our children about.
Because this data center ain't going to dig us out of the hole that Fayetteville's been dug into by the mismanagement of some of the people in the city council. Yep. Okay? And the thing with data centers that y'all are not seeming to think about is this is the biggest issue domestically in the country right now. We ain't going to forget this like we did Fire Station 4 or the dozens of other mismanaged projects that have gone on in the last 20 years in this city. It ain't going to be that. People are not going to forget. They're not going to forgive. You ignore that at your peril. And I mean your peril for your elections, since y'all seem to be a little sensitive about people being upset with you. Okay, so like, I'm sorry, you ran for office and you ain't listening. And you started the meeting, Mr. Mayor, talking about respect. But I've been in these meetings and I've seen y'all roll your eyes. I've seen you scoff. And yeah, I know that we can be a little bit challenging. I know I can be a little bit of a jerk with the way I speak. You signed up for it. You ran for office. I didn't run for office. You did. So lead us. Also, there is a lack of imagination on this city council for what this city could be. You are so focused on the base, and you're so focused on taking money from defense contractors and out-of-state corporations that you refuse to invest in the actual people here and the talent here to keep people here. You notice how many few young people in this room right now? That's because they leave the moment they can. Because the city ain't got anything for them. That's your legacy. If you don't do something different. And yeah, we're gonna have no water for this too. So, if that's a legacy you want, cool. Just understand that the margins that y'all won by last election are not that big, and you can be voted out. It's doable. So, ignore that at your peril.
Where you have y'all considered what happens when the drought hits? Water rationing becomes necessary due to these data centers. When your lights start flickering like, I don't know, Loudoun County, Virginia, due to grid strain, how many residents can afford it? Who's gonna compensate the underprivileged? What happens when the AI bubble pops and leaves us all abandoned with this giant abandoned monstrosity? Just like Fire Station 4. I want a total ban, but I know that's like not even an option and Congress isn't even pushing that. So can we just pass a one-year moratorium? Because I really don't want to be forced to bathe in cancer water filled with PFAS. And I don't want my air pollution. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
I represent students, families, and residents who deserve answers before this council commits Fayetteville to a decision we cannot undo. Loudoun County, Virginia hosts the largest data center market on moratorium. I'm an 18-year Army Civil Affairs veteran, a Fayetteville school teacher, and a resident who has worked in this community at every level, including custodial work at Westover Hills Elementary, where our summer maintenance was delayed because of water supply issues at that school. I say that so this council understands I am not speaking in abstractions, they are insufficient. The protections are not there. Loudoun County, Virginia hosts the largest data center market on earth. In 2024, they imposed a moratorium. Wake County updated their Unified Development Ordinance with mandatory noise limits, traffic impact analysis, and utility capacity verification. These are our neighbor communities in North Carolina. Fayetteville deserves the same standard they demanded for themselves. Here is what the data shows. A typical hyperscale data center employs 50 to 100 permanent workers on 500 acres. It consumes up to 500 million gallons of water per day. Westover could not get consistent water pressure for summer maintenance. Now we are asking what happens to the city's water infrastructure when an industrial facility draws millions of gallons daily. EPA environmental justice data consistently shows these facilities land in lower income communities and communities of color. Fayetteville fits that pattern exactly. My civil affairs training taught me to assess how decisions impact communities on the ground, not on paper. This decision has not cleared that bar. This council speaks of economic development. The community asking for that development tonight sleeps outside because we have nowhere to put them. That is the infrastructure gap that deserves urgent attention.
Yes.
I need this council on the record tonight. Did any council member sign a non-disclosure agreement with the developer? Did the city commission an independent fiscal impact analysis, or did the developer provide the only economic projections? Ladies and gentlemen, my students are watching, and 30 years from now, they'll want to know what these answers are.
The UDOs do not address low-frequency noise, which is proven to cause sleep disturbance and stress-related symptoms. Do y'all know what that means by low-frequency noise? I don't, but we had some expert that was studying that. The noise decibels permitted are too high for day and night. They permit diesel generators with little regard to the air pollution they permit. Maybe over 100 diesel generators at one mega data center. And they don't address water pollution, other than to say, whatever the EPA says is what we'll do. So now also, the Southern Environmental Law Center has studied our proposed UDO changes, and they find that they have merit, but they're lacking in some crucial areas. The proposed noise rules will protect neighbors' sleep or well-being because noise should be limited to 50 decibels during the day and 40 at night. And the following types of noise should be prohibited. And if you know what these are, great, I do not. Pure tone, narrow band, tonal, and low frequency noise that exceeds the ambient background levels at residential properties. The setback should be at least 1,000 feet for all data center buildings. And I have more to say, but please vote for a moratorium so that we can study all this.
They are insufficient. The protections are not there. Loudoun County, Virginia hosts the largest data center market on earth. In 2024, they imposed a moratorium. Wake County updated their Unified Development Ordinance with mandatory noise limits, traffic impact analysis, and utility capacity verification. These are our neighbor communities in North Carolina. Fayetteville deserves the same standard they demanded for themselves.